Welcome to the Homeschool Counseling Network podcast, brought to you by the homeschoolcounselingnetwork.com, a website devoted to connecting homeschooling families with free resources in the areas of academic advising, counseling, testing, therapy, and tutoring to inspire, inform, and improve lives. In this podcast series, we chat with professionals in education, mental health, professional coaching, and therapy to help families on their home education journey. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our show. My name is Kimberly Bennett, and I am your host. If you're new here, welcome. Thanks for giving us a listen. A little bit about me. I am a licensed professional counselor of over 20 years, and I have been a homeschooling mom for 5 of those years. I am also an advocate for mental health and homeschooling children with learning differences. For more of my story and background, feel free to listen to episode 1 or check out my website at the homeschoolcounselingnetwork.com. Disclaimer. While I am a licensed mental health professional, the content in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered educational, medical, mental health, or therapy advice. This podcast is not intended to replace professional medical advice. The views expressed in this podcast may not be those of the host or the management. The presenter is simply presenting their views and welcomes any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors. To the Homeschool Counseling Network podcast. Today, I am really excited to have with me a professional who has been in the homeschooling community for over 30 years. Lani Carey is a member of the Homeschool Counseling Team. And let me just share with you a little bit for our listeners and our viewers some of Lani's background and credentials. She's been in homeschooling for over 30 years, and she has graduated 4 children and 3 grandkids so far. She directed many co-ops and tutorials and developed a high school English curriculum for high school students with learning disabilities. She was a high school guidance counselor for 21 years at a well-known umbrella school, where she started many programs for homeschoolers and worked with families all over the world. Her greatest joy is helping students achieve their dreams while de-stressing parents. Oh, thank you, Lani, for being here today.
Thank you for having me, Kimberly. I'm excited.
Well, we are excited to have you, and I'm very excited by what your organization, I'm just going to call it that, has founded, the Homeschool Counseling Team. Our names are kind of similar, so of course it's kismet that God would bring us together so that we can work together to support one another, because that is what it is all about. You are one of 4 members. We have a Miss Margie Abbott, Miss Marta Weaver, and Miss Pat Wazalowski. So you ladies have come together and you've formed the Homeschool Counseling Team. Tell us a little bit about what you do and what services you provide.
Okay, Kimberly, I am excited to share with everyone. And it was such a God thing because 3 of us had actually just retired, from the umbrella school we had all worked at. And the other one, Miss Pat, still works for Bryan College. So she's kind of our college counselor, all the things getting ready for college and dual enrollment and all that kind of stuff. But the other 3 of us had worked together and the timing was just perfect. We had actually mentioned several times over the past year, maybe we ought to form a counseling team, our own counseling team, just throwing it out there. And God just brought it to pass very quickly. So what we do is we help homeschoolers, new homeschoolers, veteran homeschoolers. They all have questions, and we help homeschoolers all over the world. So I have worked in a lot of different countries, getting a lot of groups started in places like Romania and Japan and just, weird places. Well, I've worked with classical conversations groups all over the world. And we're working with some right now, as a matter of fact, with the counseling team. I've worked with military all over the world, and I love the military families, so we have, like we put out there, over 150 years of combined experience. I'm not going to tell you how old we are, but we have had our finger on the pulse of homeschooling, all of us, for 40 years or more. So that's incredible that we've seen how it's evolved, how it's changed. And I think some of the changes are just wonderful because so many people are homeschooling, and it's the fastest growing education model there is out there. So we just saw that there was a void. I mean, there's a lot of homeschool groups on social media. And, there's a lot of people out there answering questions. But what we're noticing is that it's not personalized, So what we do is we talk to the parents, and then we will email, and we do all the things, and we can give them that individual personal the answers, the solutions that they need, where we just see that there's not really a lot of people out there doing that. So I am so thankful we have connected with you. Like I say, that was just a God meeting as well, so that we can, just reach more homeschoolers. That's our goal. I retired and then immediately went into doing the same thing I've been doing for 30 some odd years, because I can't let go. It's my passion.
Well, I can say as a mom, I'm not quite there yet. We have an 11-year-old. He's in sixth grade, but I can say as a mom of a homeschooling student, having moms who go before us, moms like me, to reach back and go, it's okay. We've been there before. We've done it. Because literally, with you four ladies, there's probably nothing you haven't seen.
I
To
don't
be
think so.
honest, with the breadth and the depth of experience that you've had from either homeschooling styles or homeschooling questions and navigating different, I'm just thinking of homeschooling laws. So I'm personally grateful for a service like yours, for all of you to not be retired completely, and to come together and share your wisdom and your knowledge, because there is nothing quite like the benefit of that mentorship, that you can reach back. Because I will say personally, for me, I think there's two areas of homeschooling that are the scariest. One, making the decision to decide to do it. When you finally get off the fence and you decide to do it. And then the second part is high school. Everyone gets really, really scared when they think about high school because, oh, it's real now. And now I have to do the dreaded transcript.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing that we can do, Kimberly, is we can help parents with their transcripts. I'm helping a couple of moms right now today. It's crunch for them. But I said, yeah, you email me what your child has done. And sometimes, like with one of the students, he has been very ill for a couple of years. And that's why they've had to homeschool. So she's got all these different things that he's done, and all these experiences he's had. And she said, I don't know if any of this can count, but I'm looking at it going, oh, this can absolutely count for science right here. And this can count for math, and, and this can count for English, so we can totally look at things that your student has done and put together a really quality transcript for college or whatever, because we've done it thousands and thousands of times. So you, as a homeschool mom, you're looking at what your student has done thinking, is this good enough? Is this what it should look like? Because you don't really have a lot to compare it to, right? But, I can look at it and put it together. Now, with our counseling service, we also offer free record keeping and grade reporting service, which is absolutely incredible. And I have been working with this man for like 30 years. who developed the grade reporting website way back in the day. So, what that means is that we can put together a transcript for you in the online, and you've got access. You can put things in, we can tweak it, you can tweak it, and then in the end we can email the transcript to you, or whoever. So that's an incredible service, I think, because I see out there all the time that homeschool moms, they don't know what transcripts are supposed to look like. How would you?
Right. Right. You did this for a living. Well, you did it for a living now too, but you did this for so many years in a professional capacity at the umbrella school. You could do this in your sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally. I look at it, and that's why I put in my bio that I love to de-stress moms, Kimberly. Like you were saying, high school is very stressful. It is. um,
It
and
is.
and also beginning homeschooling. I think that's the hardest part, is making that decision and thinking somehow I'm going to do this thing. So those are the two scariest parts, I think, of homeschooling. And yet I can talk to a mom and go, you know what? You have totally got this. This is not hard. We are going to do this, and you will see it's not that difficult. So if you've got someone to come alongside you, who's done it a million times. And, it's kind of like I don't know, I don't like, we are all grandmothers, of course, but it's kind of like the grandmother of the little child, who's scared to walk across the bridge or something. And she just takes your hand and goes, it's fine. And the little kid isn't the least bit scared. And that's kind of how I feel like we are as mentors. We've done it so many times. It's second nature to us. And so we can totally de-stress you and just take you by the hand and bring you along and say, you know what, we've got this.
And that's what we need. I mean, that's what, we were created for a community. We were meant to be together in community. And the Homeschool Counseling Network, what I have found, it is not necessarily a faith-based organization, but I am a family of faith. So I speak openly about my faith. Well, openly, I will say, but we were created for community. And what you have established in that is that sense of community that, you weren't meant to do life alone. So you certainly don't have to do homeschooling alone. And you certainly don't need to feel like you have to do the hardest parts of it alone.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I love the counseling team, because, again, we are counselors. We've been doing this professionally for years. And so we have moms who, they would not put these things out on Facebook. There are things going on. You are not homeschooling in a sterile environment. It's your home. And so homes are all different, and you've got things going on in your home that very much influence the way you're going to homeschool. So we have moms who will share things with us that they go, I can't share this with my husband. He would tell me to quit homeschooling, or my friends, they would probably tell me to quit homeschooling, or my pastor, he knows nothing about homeschooling. And so they can share things with us because they trust us, and we are going to help you. We're never going to judge you. We're never going to say, oh my goodness, I can't deal with that situation, because like you said, I think that I have probably run into every situation out there. Nothing is going to catch me off guard. Nothing's going to surprise me about your homeschooling methods or your family or what's going on. But again, it's all fun. This is what God called us to, a family, and educating our children in our family. And our family's not getting in the way of our educating our children, but that is the education. No matter what is going on, I always tell parents, that is the lesson, that you are learning, and let's go with it and let's incorporate it, whether it's a sickness or a grandmother moving in, or moving around the country, or no matter what it is. that's what you incorporate into the homeschooling. And I think that a lot of new moms don't understand that. They think that homeschooling's over here with the books and all this. And of course, family life is always getting in the way of that, right? So if we can ever get the
That's life.
vision, yeah, that no, it's all together. It's all this thing called life, and it's a crazy journey sometimes, and it's like a roller coaster sometimes. But we're going to go with that, and this is the education that your children are getting, and it's going to be very unique. And what we've seen over the years is that these children, where you can go with their strengths and help them develop that, because that's what you were doing, they are successful. They are crazy successful because they were able to get that individual attention and the individual education that they needed for their God-given strengths and passions. And that's what's going to make you successful.
And that's what it's about. I mean, that is the beauty of homeschooling. At least I know for our family, that's what influenced our decision to it. I know for many families, they start from the beginning. From others, they may transition because they've had, unfortunately, a bad experience in either public or private school. And so they start from a different area. But the reasons behind it, where whatever method we choose, whatever curriculum we choose, whether we're unschoolers or classical or any of those things, the one thing that we have in common is we all want our children to have that access to that quality education and our ability and our freedom to do it our way. And to one thing that we know as counselors, what we say is we meet the families where they are. We meet our children where they are. And the more I've chatted with, this is the second time I've gotten a chance to chat with you, and I've also chatted with Margie, and I've also chatted with Marta a little bit. I've yet to speak with Pat, but I know our paths will cross somewhere along the way. But what I have gotten a feel for the more that I've chatted with all of you wonderful ladies over at the Homeschool Counseling Team is that you all have servants' hearts, that you are advocates, and that you are mentors. You don't really have to be doing this at this stage in your life. You do this because you love it. And another way that it shines through is, and I'll just say it, I know most people are uncomfortable talking about money, but the fees that you charge for the services that you are providing are so phenomenally affordable. I hate to just ask if you'd be willing to speak about that, but when I saw that in you and I spoke the first time, I'm like, are you serious? So considering especially the current economy and the times that we're in, and families are being asked to do more with less, what the Homeschool Counseling Team offers in terms of service, in terms of personal connection, and in terms of peace of mind, would you be willing to talk about how affordable? I mean, I almost don't want to say it out loud, but how affordable your services are. I was stunned. I was really stunned because it shows your servant's heart. Can you talk with us a little bit about the services you offer and what you charge for?
Yeah, when we set our fees, we had some kickback from others who we were working with and kind of partnering with, and they all said, "You're never going to be able to do it for that. How could you possibly charge that?" So we do charge $60 a year. Except missionary and military families, we charge $50 a year. And like I say, that includes the counseling that we pay for, and we throw it in free for our families, though. So we have had a lot of people that say, "Oh my gosh, how could you possibly do this? If you were getting paid by the hour, that would be like an hour of counseling with a family." And
You wouldn't get an
we've
hour
seen
of
now
professional services for that.
it wouldn't even be an hour.
Market
But
rate is about 120 to 150 an hour now. That's without insurance,
oh
and
my
that depends on
gosh.
your copay. So that's why I'm like, no, ma'am.
Yeah, so we charge $60 a year no matter how many children you have in your family. But what we've seen is we work with parents on the front end. We give them the vision. We get them set. We do all the things. And it's a lot on the front end of getting a family all set for the year. And then, and then we can email and then we can chat and all the things. So it usually gets them set. And then it's not a lot of counseling. Now, with some families, There will be, and that's fine. This is what we're here for, and it's a ministry. Others, they're going to be good to go. So we just feel like God works it out. He put, I don't know. It's kind of like He gave me that figure and I went with it. I believe it's going to work somehow because you know how God multiplies finances and stuff. But again, we did not form this team thinking we're going to make a bunch of money and this is our get rich quick scheme. This is the way to do it because this is definitely not the way to do it. But, we did this because we were just like, this is just our heart. This is what we've done for so many years, and we have so much to give, and we cannot stop now. When there's such a need in so many homeschool new moms and moms who have high schoolers now for the first time, and we work with students who are sports. I actually started working with the NCAA way back in like 2004. Our first student got an NCAA scholarship in 2005 and went to Penn State. And then his brother went to Ohio. And so we started working with them. But at the time, they did not allow homeschoolers to get the NCAA scholarships. What the homeschoolers were doing was going to public school in high school. That was the only option. So we kind of got that started. I just got that started because I had a family whose kids wanted to play. They wanted to do fencing and their dad had been their coach. And so everyone was saying, no, that's not going to happen. It can't happen unless they go to school. And the mom's like, nope, we're going to homeschool somehow. So we got those doors open and I've been working with them ever since. So that's a long relationship with NCAA. I've seen a lot. I've helped a lot of moms and students get scholarships in that time. So that's another area that we can totally help moms. There's just nothing that's really close to homeschoolers. When you come down to it, it's impossible. And she comes to me and I'm like, oh, that's totally doable. I don't know. To me, there's no doors closed. We just have to explore all the options. And sometimes I will say to moms, if they are Christian, and not all parents who come to us are, I've worked with everybody, but if they are, I'll go, you know what? Let's just pray about this and see what God does. And, we just see the most amazing results. But again, it's that experience that we bring that we can say, no, there's a way to do this. And we're going to do it. We're going to come alongside you and make this happen, Yeah.
You keep the experience is invaluable completely. But what I also see, the more I've spoken with you and the more I spoke with Margie, is also that it's more than just your experience, it's your mindset shift. The nameless organization that this other mom went to that told her, no, that can't happen. Well, because if you've only pursued one way, if you only look at things through a lens, and your only tool is a hammer, everything's a nail. So it's that mindset shift of, well, maybe we haven't done that yet, but that doesn't mean it's not possible. Let me get back to you on that, or let me examine that. Let's think outside of this box rather than keep you in it. And that seems to be the general mentality of your team, which is, well, I've had experience. Each of you bring something different to the table with your gifts, and you play off of one another's gifts that way to help. And I don't recall everything that Margie told me, but she would say, yes, this is my gift and this, and this is Lani's and this is what Pat's great at, and this is what Marta's great at. So you're such wonderful compliments there. But what I also love is that mentality and that mindset of, well, sure, we can make this happen, or we haven't yet, but why not try? Why not try? That is what we need. More of that, please. That's one of I would say, one of the most beautiful strengths that the homeschool counseling team brings to homeschooling families compared to any of the other services that I've seen out there.
Oh, you're absolutely right, Kimberly. We've even seen that since we're not working for a school, that we have so much more freedom now with the homeschool moms, the independent homeschool moms, because they are not bound by what the school requires, you know. And these are all just arbitrary things, you know. So it's like, well, let's just think outside the box. Let's do this. And, you know, I did this years ago with being a fifth year senior. So way back in the day, there weren't many kids, I'll say, who were doing another senior year. But I started having a lot of moms come to me, and for one reason or another, their kids needed another senior year. Most of them were young, you know. So if you've got a young child who might be very brilliant and he starts kindergarten at 4, then it's like, are you ready to graduate that child at 16? And they're like, no, I'm not. And so we started pushing open that door and saying, you know, I don't see why this would be a negative. Let's just see. And we never had one college. We never had anyone look at it as a negative. The kids were all glad they did that senior year, and the moms were all thrilled. So then it became a thing. Oh, we've got a fifth year senior plan, or there's no reason why you can't graduate in 2 or 3 years if they're ready, you know. So really, we are so outside of the box. And when it comes down to it, each family's different, each student's different. So let's don't put you in the box. Let's see what we can do here, you know. So there's a freedom that I think a lot of homeschoolers don't know they even have.
I didn't, and I still don't. And I think that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of community. I'd never heard of a fifth year senior, but I'm tucking that one back for later if I get there. And I have the connection with you, which is awesome.
Right.
But I think that freedom is, I mean, freedom is one of the main reasons we homeschool anyway, right? So to be able to have, Lani, I certainly want to thank you for coming on today and sharing about all of your wisdom and your experience and the services that you offer with the other ladies with the Homeschool Counseling Team. And for, I'm telling you, it is, you cannot beat the what you are charging. It is definitely a ministry and a service that you are offering. You can see your servant's heart shine through, because that is incredibly affordable for all that the families are getting when they come to you, and they're not going to be kept in that box. You're going to help them with the out of the box thinking. You're going to embrace that true counseling spirit of meeting that family where they are and helping them make their individual experience work. So let's tell our listeners and our viewers, where can they find the Homeschool Counseling Team?
They can go to our website. It is not totally finished, but we launched with what we did. And so it's fine. And it's very easy to find. It's just homeschoolcounselingteam.com. And they can register there. They can request more information. They can see all of our bios. They can see all the different families that we help. You know, so there is a lot of information. It's a work in progress, as you know. It's always a work in progress, right? But you don't wait until you have things perfect until you do them. And we have really learned that. You go with what you have. And we learned that a lot through homeschooling. You know, you just go. And so, you know, I love talking to families, because something you said reminded me of the cliche, you don't know what you don't know. You know, and so until you talk to a counselor who can listen to what's going on and go, you know what, these are all the options. I love to just throw out all the options. And then the mom is like, oh, okay, I did not even know I had options. You know, so that's one thing that experience does that I think nothing else does. If you don't even know the questions to ask, how are you going to get that information? So that is the value, and that's our heart behind actually talking to moms, you know, and they share things that we would not think to ask, and they wouldn't think to ask. It's not that kind of a thing. You know, counseling goes beyond the question and answer session. You get to the heart, and that's what we do. We just love to get to the heart of homeschooling. And then when a mom calls with a math question because their son is having a hard time in math, we can see, oh, math is not the real problem. Hey, let's do this, because then the heart of the problem just reveals itself. And we've got so many different options because of the experience we've had with all the families, thousands and thousands of families over the years. And, no one is alone. We're all unique, but I guarantee you someone has had this problem before. Someone's had this issue before, and we've had the experience to help them through that. So I think that's really what we bring to the table, is that it all goes back to the experience and the heart that we have for the homeschool parents and students.
And it shines through. You really are, you put that focus on relationship with those families, that you see them as a family first, not just as a client. You see the child first, which it all goes back again to why we homeschool to begin with. Really, the freedom of getting to do it on our own terms, but also the relationship that it grows, at least from my personal experience, the relationship that it has helped grow the relationship that I have with my child, with my spouse. It just, the quality of it is just there, and the intimacy of it, and that is what you are offering, is being able to, things that you're not going to want to put on social media because it's there forever. If you put it, it's there forever, and it's personal, and you never know who's going to grab that from a screenshot and do something with that information, and you're not going to get, I really hate to say this, social media has its purpose, but it's also, you can get misinformation, you can get pseudo information, and you can just get shamed, for lack of a better way of putting it, for not knowing what you don't know. And that's not what this is about. That's not what this is about. So the fact that the Homeschool Counseling Team has, your website's going to grow. Mine's morphing and changing all the time.
Yes.
I'm the one learning to write it, and I'm all, oops, let me go downstairs and ask my husband who does tech stuff, can you fix what I broke? So, it's going to morph and change all the time. But the point is, you've got it out there. They know how to get a hold of you. And we are going to put links in the description box below where you can click on that and you can reach Lani or any of the other ladies who are at the Homeschool Counseling Team. And they will assess who is going to be the best fit for you, that personalized service and that intimacy of the counseling relationship that goes with that type of consultation purposes. That's
The Homeschool Counseling Network recognizes the comfort of having a community. We offer the Homeschool Counseling Network Public Resource Sharing Group, a public group on Facebook where individuals, organizations, families, and professionals are welcome to openly share information and resources. Looking to learn from a particular specialist or educator in one of these fields? Reach out and let us know. You can send us your comments and questions to Kimberly Bennett, LPC, at outlook.com, or by commenting in the public Facebook group. With the Homeschool Counseling Podcast, we are working to bridge the gap between professionals and homeschooling families. Are you searching for a professional in your area to help support your family on your homeschooling journey? Visit our website at www.homeschoolcounselingnetwork.com. Look under the Parents tab where you will find a subcategory, Find a Professional. Here you will find lists of service providers organized by areas of specialty in 4 main categories: academic advising, counseling and mental health, testing, therapy, and tutoring. We've also added some new categories: professional coaching and courses and classes. Providers are also categorized by state, population served, and areas of expertise. Credentials and contact information are also included. Also on our website, you'll find a variety of digital media, including blog posts, free downloads, and a searchable free resource library covering a range of topics relevant to homeschooling, education, therapy, and mental health. Content is created by me, Kimberly Bennett, your host, and some professional friends and fellow homeschooling parents that I have met along the way in my family's homeschooling journey. By collaborating with service providers and professionals in the community, strategic partners, donors, sponsors, and advertisers who share our vision and believe in our mission, we endeavor to provide free quality resources to inspire, inform, and improve the lives of homeschooling families. Are you a professional interested in partnering with us? Visit our website and click on the Professionals tab. You can join our network and have your business or practice listed among our multiple resource lists for free. Have a heart for service? Would you like to pour your knowledge into the homeschooling community? Consider contributing content to our free resource library. There are multiple opportunities to participate, including writing guest blog posts, recording a guest blog, or sharing downloads or printables. Looking for a wider reach? Coming soon! HCN will offer paid advertising opportunities. Be sure to subscribe to our newsletter at homeschoolcounselingnetwork.com to keep updated with all of our latest developments. Education is a journey that we are not meant to take alone. There is great comfort in community. Until we meet again, thanks for being part of our village.